Hello, and welcome to another episode of Finding Mr. Height, the podcast. I'm your host, Allie Jackson, and I am bringing you my positive and practical approach to dating, relationships, and a whole lot else about life based on my personal experience, the things that I've been through and worked through, and I'm bringing to you. I am so excited about today's episode. I am talking with Miriam Katz, who has been on the pod recently. She was on the pod talking about her new podcast, X Appeal, which has just wrapped its first season, where she's talking to her goal is to talk to every single person she's ever dated for this podcast. And by dated, she means has any romantic connection with or like contact with at all. But that's not why she's back on the pod. She's back on the pod because she and I have been talking a lot about the work she does with public speaking coaching and how that work is rooted in her improv roots and how she helps people be better public speakers most of the time in a work context. But one of her public speaking clients recently told her that the work that they had done with public speaking and presentations at work had really helped her in dating to feel more authentic, to feel looser, to feel less like you're on an interview, and just feel like dating is more fun. And going on dates, regardless of the outcome, is more fun when you have this kind of like loose approach to it. And so Miriam reached out to me about this, and we decided to do an episode talking about how these improv exercises that she does for her public speaking clients can really help going into dates, early dates, especially first dates, second dates, third dates, when you might be a little tighter, you might be a little nervous, you might be worried about what to talk about or coming across weird or like whatever it is, to help you ground yourself in who you are, feel a little looser, be more engaged, have better connection to someone, regardless, honestly, of whether you end up wanting a second date or another date with that person. The goal is to have fun on the date, no matter who's sitting across the table from you or next to you or whatever. The goal is to have fun so that you don't feel like it's this thing where you're just banging your head against a wall. And of course, there are going to be bad dates regardless, and you can't control what the person across from you is doing. But you can work on things within yourself and your approach to make things more fun. And when I reflect back on when I was dating, I had a lot of fun on dates, even when I didn't want to go out with that person again. And I think it's because I had unintentionally, accidentally worked on this a lot through the way that I've worked on presenting at work and being a little looser and like not following a script and thinking on my feet and being kind of a little bit more authentic to who I am. And I was bringing that to dates in a way that had me having fun, even if the other person isn't somebody that I want to see again. And not because they're like a terrible person, right? You might still have bad dates because the other person is doing something crazy. But I think the majority of dates are more meh than they are bad. And so my goal is to still have fun on the dates that are meh and essentially like not have meh dates and still have fun on my end. So all this to say, Miriam is back after we hear from Katie and Tony to bring me and thus you through some exercises that she does with her public speaking clients that we've adapted or she's adapted to the dating space. And this is the first time in, I think, the history of the podcast that I did not write the outline for the episode because she is bringing exercises to me that I don't know about in advance. And on purpose, because I knew about the exercises in advance, they wouldn't work, right? Like they have to be, improv needs to be on the fly. It's improv. It's in the name. So she brought these exercises to me sight unseen, and we had so much fun. And I highly recommend that you do them along with me or pause it to do it yourself if you're not able to kind of do it in real time. Also, this episode is on YouTube for the first time ever. I said it out loud in the recording with Miriam, and I'm saying it out loud now so that it must be true. This episode is on YouTube, and this is a really great one to watch in video, to watch our facial expressions, to watch how the exercises work, because I really feel like these exercises would be so good to do before dates. There are some you can do by yourself. There's others that are with a person, but you could play this episode and do it. And I think it could be really helpful for the workplace. I know it is because that's what she does for a living. She coaches people in public speaking, in work presentations, and that kind of thing. For the patrons, we're doing a bonus episode for our $10 tier where we do bonus episodes every week. We're doing a bonus episode on presenting at work, using some of these concepts, but going even deeper into it specific to work presentations. So I'm excited for that as well. We're going to record that next week for the bonus episode for the patrons. And this week, you will get to hear Miriam talk all about first dates and how we can be a little looser and, like I said, more authentic, but still bring your personality, right? Like, obviously I am an extrovert. I'm a little loud. My energy is high. That's not everybody's vibe. The goal is not for you to have that vibe. The goal is for you to find your vibe and get more comfortable and looser in that vibe to then bring that authenticity and looseness to dates so that you're having more fun. So that is what we have going for you this week. And we are back with Miriam. Hi, Miriam. Welcome back to Finding Mr. Height, the podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you again. And I think what viewers or listeners rather, also viewers, this episode, I'm saying it out loud so that I have to do this. This episode is going to be on YouTube.
And we're going to do some physical humor here. We're going to do some visual stuff to entice you all.
Yes, exactly. This is the perfect one to be the YouTube debut. I think listeners, viewers might be a little surprised to find out the topic, or they already heard the topic in my intro of having you back, because the first time we had you on, you were talking all about your amazing podcast. You just wrapped season 1, X Appeal. How's it going, first of all?
Really well. Yeah. A lot of people listened. It was really fun.
That's so cool.
Yes.
I loved the concept. I know a lot of listeners loved the concept. So kudos to you. Congratulations on wrapping season 1. But we are here for something completely different.
Mm-hmm. Adjacent, but yes.
Yes, true. So I found this out when you and I were just chatting on the side, but let the listeners know what it is that you do. In fact, what it is that you literally just got off doing before we jumped onto this recording.
So I teach public speaking coaching. Well, I coach public speaking.
Yeah.
And for professionals, people who are giving presentations at work or pitching to VCs or people doing panel discussions, and I help them feel more like themselves, more playful. I work a lot with humor, both because it's fun, but also to get people to feel more free and then hopefully to be a little bit funnier and have like a lighter touch on everything they're doing, because people can prepare and then just be very stiff. Or especially if you think about a wedding toast, they'll just read off the page.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's technically perfect, but nobody wants to hear it. I'd so much rather hear someone stumble and be themselves than have it be, quote, perfect, but reading. And one of my clients a couple months ago said this work that she was doing with me was making her much better on first dates. And then I thought about the work that you do as a dating coach. And then I just thought how these things can be parallel and how improv can definitely be helpful for first dates, for feeling like yourself, for being present, for listening, for being playful, for being funny, for not taking it too seriously. And also, I think, for being authentic.
Absolutely. I love that parallel. I think the audience is not going to be surprised that I love when I can parallel my corporate life to my podcasting life.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it does really factor in. And I have been talking a lot more about work life and, corporate success and that kind of thing over on the Patreon. And one of the things that you and I are going to do is a Patreon bonus about giving presentations at work. So patrons, look out for that this week. But I'm so excited to talk about how this work can translate into dating, because especially it's January, we are in a very high dating app usage time.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
There's like new year, new me resolutions in the air, right?
Yeah.
Gym memberships spike in January. The same thing is true for dating apps.
Wow. Cool. That's great.
Yeah. So like a lot of people make it their New Year's resolution to go on more dates, or maybe just to use the dating apps more, whatever it is. So there are going to be an inordinate number of first dates happening soon. And awesome. I want people to feel more confident and more comfortable going on those dates. And I think this is going to be great.
Yeah. And that is funny that there's wedding season and then there's dating season.
Oh, yeah.
It totally makes sense. Yeah. I guess my goal for this episode is that people feel like they can have more fun on first dates. Because I do really think that's possible. There's first dates that I've gone on that I never hung out with that person again, but I remember something from it. I got a song from it, just something. It wasn't a terrible experience because it did not turn into anything else.
Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I didn't mind dating so much, was because I was having fun on dates.
Yes.
And doing that requires you to be a little looser and to like
Definitely.
not follow this script. I will say, we will get into this, but obviously you can only control what you're doing.
Yes.
So I want to caveat that, because I asked the listeners for pain points that they were having in first dates or early dates. And a lot of them talked about feeling like it's an interview, or feeling really stiff, or feeling like they're telling the same stories over and over again. But the other pattern that showed up was feeling like they were getting nothing in return.
Yes. I think in situations like that, okay, there have been times, especially when I was dating during COVID and
Mm.
someone was really giving me nothing. And at some point, like 15 minutes in, I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah, we can't do
There
this.
are times where it's like, I can't, and that's fine. There's extreme examples of that. But I think you can, even if you end up asking all the questions and then they didn't ask you questions, at least you're getting something out of somebody. So I think you
Yeah.
can sort of lead the way and ask a bunch of questions. And then when they say something, you then respond to it. It sort of, in that sense, is a one-way led conversation, but it still is a conversation.
Yeah, I had a really interesting guest on, also named Miriam,
Oh, wow.
last month, and we talked about different conversation types and how some people are the type of conversationalist where they do ask a lot of questions, whereas other people like sit back a little bit and they'll maybe make statements that invite you in.
Hmm.
And so I think that that is an interesting framework to think about as we start discussing ways to feel looser and ways to feel more like yourself on dates, is to not have it feel like you're asking a list of questions.
Yes. That also makes me think of the biggest tenet of improv, which most people would know if they knew anything about improv, which is yes and.
Right.
And that doesn't mean you're agreeing. Someone can say something like, I love murder. You don't have to say yes, but you are agreeing with the reality that that is what they said. You're not saying, oh, we're, aliens
I
in outer
also
space.
love murder.
Yes. You don't have to say, I also love murder. But the reality is that that's what someone said. And so you are saying, wow, you love
You said that.
murder. I personally do not love murder. And the reason I do not love murder is the following. So, I think that is a really important part of dating, is that you are, and it's an important part of relationships.
Yeah.
Is that you accept the reality of what the person has said.
I'm sorry, I kept still losing. You're like, wow, I really don't love murder. Interesting. You said that out loud.
Yes.
But yes, you did. Yes, you did say that out loud.
Yes, that is your deal. Yeah. And I do think there is an art of conversation that can transcend talking to somebody who maybe isn't as good. I mean, the funny thing about this is there were dates that I went on that were an amazing date for the other person.
Yes.
Because I'm a good conversationalist. And they were like, oh my God, we connected so much. And it was like, oh no, I'm just very good at talking to people. And I'm genuinely very curious about people. And so it's a good problem to have. I don't think lead anyone on. I have no interest in that kind of energy. But I think it's okay if you go on dates and people like you. And then you have to say, oh, I'm actually not that into it.
I mean, what a good problem to have.
Definitely. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah. Because one of the other patterns that emerged in the submissions were people that were wanting to go into dates feeling like the chooser versus going into dates wanting to be chosen and worrying about how the other person is perceiving you.
It's kind of neither. It's like you're choosing each other. You're seeing if something clicks. It's you united.
So true.
Yeah.
But I think it's also, when you're going into a date, if you're coming at it from the lens that we're talking about today, in terms of wanting to be yourself and have fun and be loose, then it's like, okay, well, if the other person's not into that, that was my authentic loose self.
Definitely.
And that's fine.
Definitely. I mean, and that is so important in and again, it's theoretical, but it's so important in every area of your life. And I think it does get a lot easier with age. For any listeners you have who are in their 20s, I think it's a little bit harder to just be like, I'm polarizing, so who cares? Some people don't like me. It's like you want everybody to like you. And I also definitely have some people pleaser in me, but you do understand that some people you're going to be right for and some people you're not. And that is fine.
Yeah, that was a lot harder 10 years ago than now.
And I hope it's going to get easier and easier as we grow older.
My gut is that it will, just given seeing videos of older women that are older than me
Yes.
talking about their experiences, it seems to get more and more freeing.
Yes, I think so. I
So
think it
I'm
gets
hopeful.
wild.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think we can infuse dating life with a little of that now. If that's what's to come,
Sure.
let's have it now. Let's have fun now. Let's be playful now. Let's chill. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm the reason I'm bringing this up is because improv has really changed my life and some of these exercises that I do with public speaking coaching. It just,
Yeah.
I think imperfection is a big thing, is that in comedy, when you mess up, that's actually what you in stand up talk about. And in improv, you glom onto, and that becomes the game. And then your entire team is doing that mess up. And it's like, yeah, great. That's amazing. And it's human and it's vulnerable. And so this feeling of going on a date and yeah, look cute, put your best foot forward, but you really can just be who you are.
Yeah. That must feel really comforting to be in an improv team situation where you make a mistake and that becomes the team's mistake, for lack of a better word. Like that
Totally.
becomes their mission, is to support you in that mistake.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Yes. And it's not just, oh, let's all erase the mistake. It's the
Of
opposite.
course.
It's let's
Yeah.
embrace the mistake. And then
Yeah.
every single one of us is whatever, stuttering over a word or whatever it is. And then it becomes the thing that the audience loves. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I mean, that's a big part of clown work too, is the fool, the failure, the
Mm.
disaster. Yeah, it is great to do it as a team. Really fun.
Yeah. That sounds really fun. Improv scares me. I think it
You'd
probably
be
scares a
amazing
lot
at
of people.
improv. You'd be
I
incredible
oh,
at improv.
thank you.
I think some of my one-on-one teaching, I want to almost be the pre-improv teacher. Like I think I could teach
Hmm.
someone 1 or 2 classes to make them unafraid of going into an improv class. I'd like to be the go-between.
I like that idea because I really like presenting at work. I
Yeah.
really like it. But I had never until our conversation thought about how that might relate to something like improv. I thought about how it relates to dates, mostly because I think earlier in my life, I struggled to flip. Like the skills are similar, but the demeanor is different.
Yes.
It's like I struggled
Although
to go into date mode
oh, I see.
from work mode.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the demeanor is flip, but I think part of what I do with public speaking coaching is try to get people to be a little more the way they are with their friends at work.
Yeah.
Not in an unprofessional way, but in a loose, fun way, like
Yeah.
appropriately inappropriate. Say the
I think
thing you
that's the line for me that that I had a hard time with.
Yes, I got it. Yeah. Yeah. No, it is fun.
Yeah.
That's my grand conclusion.
Yeah. It is
Um,
fun. And I want people to find dating fun, even if the outcome isn't as fun, right? Like it's not fun
yeah.
to go on a date and not want to see the person again, or to go on a date and want to see the person again and they don't want to. Like that's objectively not fun.
And there's nothing you can do about that. But yes, I
Exactly.
think the actual experience, I think you don't have to be thinking about it all day long and freaking out. I think you can just be like, all right, here's the date.
Yeah.
I think, and yes, we talked a lot about the part that you can work on, and that's what we'll do with little exercises today. Oh, and you were saying that you wouldn't be good at improv. I think you would. I think we just have these blocks to the good. I think the good is already in us. It's just we have these little defenses up. But yeah. You
I
do
think
bits with your boyfriend, That
I
is
do.
improv.
But
Yeah.
I think it's getting over feeling silly.
Yeah. But embarrassing stuff ends up yielding good things.
True.
Yeah. I mean, I
True.
find. Yeah.
I think it's easier for me to do on social media where like
Mm.
I almost like I'm so clumsy. I like usually do something very silly in a video that I'm editing or a video that I'm filming unintentionally. And I always include that
Yeah.
in my final edit because it's real and it's who I am. But there's a barrier between the person that I'm showing it to is not sitting in front of me. Like there's a posting barrier
I see. Yes.
between
Sure.
me doing the
Of
stupid
course.
thing and the person viewing the stupid
Right.
thing,
And you're
you know?
still deciding that you're going to
Yeah.
show it and taking a
Yeah.
second, and you would be allowed to not do it because you're in control.
Right.
But yeah, I think you can get there. I think you can get there.
Yeah. Then maybe this will be my goal for 2026 is take an improv class.
I will be your Sherpa.
This is actually kind of fun. Okay, but that's not why we're here.
Okay, so there are some things, like general things that I'm thinking of that are very useful for first dates. I mean,
Yeah.
humor, charm, dynamism. So even in tone of voice, we're going to do an exercise that plays with tone of voice. I mean, I said that sort of flatly, but instead of saying, I went to the record store, it's like, I went to the record store. Just something to, and I think you can practice that a little bit. I just did it. You can practice it so that you are a little more interesting to hear vocally, even. I also think generally thinking on the spot is so helpful because somebody says something and in real time you respond and you don't freeze. And then I think we're going to do some exercises in terms of getting connected to each other, because you are trying to connect with somebody when you're dating, even if it's just for the date,
Yeah.
just conversationally finding a way to connect. And a lot of that is about listening. And hopefully, if you model that kind of listening, the person is going to also, ideally.
Yeah. And I think the thinking on the spot combined with the listening is a really important thing to work on, because I think a lot of people, due to nerves, are not listening, they're waiting to talk. And I think we do that because we are worried that if we don't prepare the thing we're going to say, we won't say a good thing.
Right. I will say I have done a lot of improv and worked with a lot of people in this capacity, and it's always better when you don't plan. I know that is very, very hard to believe, but I have people, I just taught a public speaking, like a group class, and it was last minute, an hour and a half before somebody asked me to sub. And we had people make up commercials on the spot, and they were and these are people who do not do improv, and they were so funny and so impressive. And you could just, first of all of them were shocked by what came out of their mouth, but also there's no way they could have sat down and written a thing and performed it and had it be as good as just the wildness of what is both inside of you, but also I think there's some channeling that happens when you're forced to. So the not planning, and again, that's theoretical, practice leads you to believe this, but not planning is always going to be better because it's going to be real. It's going to be present. It's going to be in response to actual prompts. So yeah, don't plan and listen.
That's usually the advice that I give my people that work for me and stuff when I coach them on presenting at work. A lot of people like to have a script. This is actually true for podcasting too, that a lot of podcasters like to have a script.
Yes.
And I don't, for the reason that we're talking about. I have bullets. Like right now I have bullets, but it's basically like, okay, I want to hit that point at some point. I want to make sure they know about this.
Yes.
I want to make sure I talk about that. But be the in-betweens, the transitions, the details, the color, I think that is so much better on the fly. But you have to practice it.
Yeah, and be open to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think you need to practice being imperfect and practice thinking on the fly, but also it is a perspective that is going to be fine and better.
And better. Yeah. I think that's the and better part.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it just is. It's just, I mean, I think you know it from literally every wedding toast. Yeah, you've heard.
Yeah,
is the people that are reading, it's never ever as good as the people who aren't reading. And it's not that those people who aren't reading are even better. They just, they have that. There's a little more of a willingness to take a risk. I want to first work on dynamism and expressiveness because I think that really is helpful. I think I am generally fun on dates. I think I have energy and I have spunk. And I think some people are lower energy, but I also think you have it in you. One has it in one to up that energy. And that is a really important thing to practice. So I'm going to have you say, oh, look, the tulips came up totally normally.
Oh, look, the tulips came up.
Perfect. And now I'm going to have you say it really angry.
Oh, look, the tulips came up.
Even more.
Oh, look, the tulips came up.
So good. And look, you wouldn't necessarily say something angrily on a date, but it's like you are going to have a perspective and you're going to feel something in a big way. It's not just like, and this is even something in terms of language. A lot of people are like, yeah, it was meh. No, what did you think? What were the feelings? So, get into that dynamism even vocally. Okay, now I want you to say it really afraid.
Oh, look, the tulips came up.
Really super good. And this is going to be good on YouTube because your face looked scared. And then let's do sad. Really try to be sad.
Oh, look, the tulips came up.
Beautiful. I really felt that. Okay, let's do British.
Oh, God. Oh, now I'm so nervous.
I know,
I do a British accent on my own all the time.
But it's like, be bad. Be good with being bad.
Well, look, the tulips came up.
Gorgeous. One more time. Oh, even more. Oh, even more. Oh, look, the tulips came up.
Oh, look, the tulips came up.
I mean, gorgeous. I think actually, I'm so glad that came up because you're never going to be good unless you're down to be bad.
I'm so embarrassed.
Super true of acting. But this is like, I'm sorry, but this is a breakthrough moment because you did it. It's true. It's like, this is the thing. That was so good.
I want to invite the listeners, the viewers, wherever you are, to do this with us, right?
Yes.
Like as Miriam is giving me these prompts, do it with us. If you have to pause it or you want to do it over me, like lean into this. You're probably by yourself listening right now, so no one will see you or hear you.
Yes. I really think that was an important moment.
My British accent?
Yes. I know we're just joking around, but no one wants you to be good at a British accent. They want you to do it with gusto.
True.
It was so fun the second time you did it to see, and like your face changed. I don't know. It's awesome.
I feel like that exercise that we just did about saying something in different tones could be a really good warm up to do before going on a date. Like to get yourself loose. What do you think about that?
Totally. I have a few of those. I think moving your face around in ways that it doesn't normally move, and this will be for YouTube. I'll do it. It's going to look really stupid, but I think that really helps because it's stupid, and also just to make your face more elastic. And I think it helps make you not feel like it's such a big deal. I think singing is really useful. Just vocally, I think it calms you down to sing, but also I think, again, it's sort of silly and it just, it gets you into your emotions a little more, which I actually think helps you be more authentic.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people that I work with who I need them to be a little bit more vulnerable and a little softer and a little less, I'm professional, buttoned up, perfect. So I won't make them sing, even if it's privately. And then smiling is a little bit like power pose. So power pose and smiling, the little like faking, tripping yourself up. If you can, dancing really stupidly. I like to do, with clients I've worked with a little bit more, keep a perfectly, or with kids, then I'll do it immediately, but keep a perfectly straight face and dumb dance. Like dance as stupid as you can with a straight face.
While your face is totally straight.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So, but yes, I definitely think saying things dynamically is an awesome pre-date warm-up. A lot of these are.
One of the things I used to do when I coached volleyball, and I actually do this with my adult team too, but it works even better with kids, to your point, is that if we were playing really poorly and I needed to call timeout, I would like tell them something, but then I would point at one of them and they had to lead everybody else in a stupid dance.
Oh, cool. Yes.
And it like gets them out of their heads. And also I think is kind of a mind fuck if you've called a timeout and the other team looks over and you're just dancing.
So good.
They're like, well, they're loose and ready. Like they don't care.
Something happened over there. Yeah, they've got a secret.
Right. Yeah, they have a secret. Exactly.
That's
and like I
really
think
good.
I hadn't thought about how that might translate into dating, but I think it could.
Yeah. Okay, I want to do something that's related to getting connected.
Okay.
Because I think on dates, even if it's not going to end up being a match, if you want the date to go well, meaning not be a nightmare for you, I do think it's really important to find something in common. And to conversationally be connecting. There's people that feel more like buddies, but you had a great conversation.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I want us to have a conversation, but just with one sentence.
Okay.
So we can have the sentence be something related to dating. So I tried to look cute for my date. And that's the only thing we're going to say. We're not going to copy each other. Instead, we're going to it's an acting exercise. We're going to react to the way they said it. So say our version in response to how the other
Okay.
person said it. So I tried to look cute for my date.
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 Very good. Yeah. You can see how it was like, we weren't getting further conversationally, but I think there was a way in which you got a little angry and then I was like, oh, I'm going to go full throttle. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to go more apologetic. But there's this sort of energy. It's nice with the same sentence because it's sort of energetically responding and being like, oh, you know what? Right now we need to take it down a little. Oh, you know what? Let's bring up the energy a little. It's not something you're going to consciously think about on a date. I just think this exercise reminds you of getting in sync and practices getting in sync.
I also think it reminded me that I can read body language and tone really well as a human. I think we all can as a human, right? Like, and I don't know that I would have realized that where that exact moment that you were talking about, I kind of had two options in my head. I could like escalate further where I would have been quite literally screaming or dial it back.
Yes.
And that realization I think was important.
Well, and body language is such an enormous part of date.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't need to be super conscious. You are good at that, but you haven't realized you're good at that. But yeah, that's part of listening. You're listening to words, but you're also, someone might start to say something, but you can tell they're a little embarrassed about it, but you're curious about it. So you make them not be embarrassed about it by saying, oh, what were you saying? That was super interesting. Whatever it is, like draw stuff out of someone. Be aware of when they're maybe trying to shy away from something, but you want to know what it is. That's just an example. But yeah, I think that's a really important game. Okay. This is, okay. I want to talk a little bit about using strong language. We touched on that a little bit earlier because I mentioned saying it was whatever, meh, even, and I think I did it earlier in the interview, but people say the word so a lot. It's super common. And it actually is, and not to get in anyone's head about it, but it actually, if you hear it, say on a panel discussion, it's not just a filler word, it's a little bit of a deflating word. If you say, how long have you worked in factory farming? And you ask me that question.
So Miriam, how long have you worked in factory farming?
So it's been 4 years. And now ask me again.
So Miriam, how long have you worked in factory farming?
4 years. I mean, I think I'd probably, performed it slightly differently.
Yeah,
and it's not, again, to get anyone obsessed with but I think just reminding yourself that your language can be strong. You can say, it's essential that I really love this. I feel strongly that because that is who you are. Don't pretend you're into a movie you're not into, love or hate. But I think being aware of the times where you act like you don't care, that's not very helpful on a date.
And I think it is something that we do a lot because somehow caring has become uncool in society. And I think this is truer the younger you are.
Yeah. And even internet wise, this concept of cringe. There is such a thing of, you're not supposed to care, but caring is the coolest thing. It's fine to be embarrassing. It's all fine. Obviously, be aware that it is a first date. There is some understanding, but I think even in your language, making it clear that you care about something, if you care about something, is awesome.
And I think
So
can model that for the other person. Like, if you are really passionate about something and opening up about something that you're passionate about, I think that gives space for the other person to do the same.
totally. And it doesn't have to be the same thing at all, but
Oh,
just
yeah.
yes. No, enthusiasm is very catchy.
Mm.
So I'm gonna have you do a little speech on the spot. And
Oh,
I
okay.
want you to play with there's a lot of things we could play with in terms of dynamism. And we won't do all of them, but adjusting your volume. And this is more about giving a speech, but adjusting volume at different moments, adjusting speed, using your hands, smiling. There's all these little tricks that you can focus on. I want to focus on dynamism in tone because I mentioned it earlier. So it can be a bit exaggerated, but really have your voice go up and down.
Okay.
So if you're talking about grass, grass is green, but sometimes in the summer it does get dark. But then also back in the spring, it's gorgeous and lush, and the rain, whatever. That's an example.
Yeah.
So you're going to talk about bananas and you're really going to focus on dynamism in the tone.
Okay. Bananas are yellow, and most people hold them when they eat at the bottom. But did you know that monkeys actually consider the bottom the top? Like, they eat from the other side because sometimes there are bugs in the bottom. And if you eat them that way, you might eat a bug and not even know it.
There is no way someone hearing that wouldn't hear how compelling that is. And you were even doing it sort of exaggeratedly, now we're all just aware of it. But
Yeah.
that is really fun to listen to. And yes, in some cases, I'm talking about giving a presentation, but also conversationally, you sounded really engaged and interested, which made me much more interested in what you were saying. And you were talking about bananas. You didn't even have to be talking about Led Zeppelin. So I think that kind of dynamism slash enthusiasm, and those things kind of
Mm.
go hand in hand, are really important to remember. And that's why I sort of paired it with the language, because it's your tone, but it also is what you are saying. So I think both of those things, if you can up the excitement.
Yeah. What advice do you have for someone who feels performative when they do that? Obviously, I was
Mm,
being very performative just now,
yes.
but even a toned down version. Like, what would your advice be for somebody who's feeling that way?
I think practice it on a regular basis because there
Mm.
are people who simply speak with a monotone and they really can adjust that. So I
Yeah.
think if you are conscious of it in situations where it doesn't really matter, at the dry cleaner, at the coffee shop, then it will become a little bit more natural. No one's really asking you to say like, "Hi, I'm Sherry. I'm at this date. It's so great." You do it in a way that feels authentic to you, but just having some awareness that both your tone and your general enthusiasm, it also might be that you can do it from a different angle. You were specifically thinking about your tone, but you also can just simply say, I'm going to go into this with some enthusiasm. And that, and get into the emotion of that. And maybe you listen to some music beforehand that gets you feeling that way.
I like the idea that you had about practicing it in lower pressure environments, like you gave the example of the dry cleaner, but I also could see it in a dinner that you go to with a friend.
Mhm.
To go in thinking like, "Okay, I'm gonna do my pre-date exercises for this dinner with my friend, and
Yes.
I'm gonna go in with this mindset," to familiarize yourself with it a little bit more.
I think even being aware of how you speak.
Mm.
So some of this is, I mean, one of the things I have when I first start working with people is I have them tape themselves speaking for 5 minutes, and I never see that, but they watch it and they self-assess. A lot of times you do need someone else witnessing and saying, you're rolling your eyes, you
Mm.
don't even know it, or I think you're not quite aware of how many ums or likes, or there's all these different things. But I think even just being aware, maybe I do speak monotonously. Oh, I could change the volume. And you even were doing it with the banana thing. Like, bananas are so cool. They are so amazing. That kind of dynamism. Just
Yeah.
to be aware of these things. Again, I just started speaking with my hands. Speaking with your hands can help you get a little more into stuff. So I think being aware that the way that you are coming off, especially when you're nervous, could be a little flat. And so that awareness then in all of your life, it's not even about necessarily, okay, now's the night to practice. That is great. But I think sometimes if you know, when I first started recording the podcast and then listening back, I was saying like a ton.
Yeah.
And that was
I do
enough.
it.
Yeah, of course. But that was enough to have some more awareness, have certain days that I decided to really try to pare back. And then now I think I do it a little less in a way that is enough for me.
Yeah. It's good practice to be cognizant of.
Yes. Okay, this will be a funny last one.
Okay.
We're going to do world's worst. We're going to do a little scene. You're going to be the world's worst version of whatever occupation I give to you. You can be rude, stupid, incompetent, anything. This is just fun for all of us that are trying to be good. And I think a big theme of all of this is it doesn't need to be good or perfect or fancy or shiny.
Yeah.
You, especially in this AI moment, you human are, this is like real. This is not theoretical. You human, you is what we want. So this is your opportunity to be bad. Let's see. You're going to be the world's worst. Let's say Taylor.
Okay.
Hi, I want to get my grandmother's dress hemmed just 1 inch shorter. I'm just a little bit smaller than her. And it's this beautiful Victorian dress. I love it so much.
Give me that dress.
What?
It's mine now.
Oh, what? No, I'll take that
I'm just
back.
I'm just gonna take these scissors right here, and we're gonna go right down the middle. It's gonna be perfect.
Oh my God, you just
trust me. I know what I'm doing.
You just cut the dress. You just cut my grandmother's dress. Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
You just made my grandmother's wedding dress into a crop top.
Well, you never told me it was a wedding dress, so that's really on you.
You're the world's worst, Taylor. So good. You just threw yourself into that. That was really amazing. How did that feel, all these exercises?
I think I feel much better now than I did when I was doing the British accent.
Okay. That's so funny that was, why do you think that was so hard?
I think it's because I personally think I am good at accents.
Oh, wow.
But I have never done, and I also want to be so clear that I don't think what I did was a good British accent.
And that wasn't even the exercise to do good. It was just to do one. But no, that's again why I think it was a breakthrough, because you don't need to be good even at the things that you're good at. And yeah, I think that was important.
I think it's like a similar thought that I have about how I think I'm a decent singer. I'm not a good singer. I'm not trained or anything like that. But like in a karaoke room, I'm usually like decent, right? So when I do a song that is not my song, that is like either out of my range or like a style that I'm not very good at, I feel extra nervous or like extra shy, maybe.
Yes.
Because I think this is actually something I'm good at. And right now I'm not good at it.
Yes. That is very human. Yes.
It's easier to be bad at something I know I'm bad at.
Right, that makes so much sense. Yes, if I went out and played softball, it would be like, whatever, I can't even, who cares? Sometimes with art, it's a novelist is like, I'm just going to make a painting. And a painter's like, I'm going to write a book. It's like you care less about the thing that isn't your thing.
Yes.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I think it's great. And I think it's also great to do, this is your podcast. And almost all the time, you would be the one asking the questions. And so it was a flip for you. And I'm very happy that you let me do that. But we have to honor that on your podcast, you let me like run the show for a couple minutes there and do something that you did not expect at all. It's awesome.
It was super fun. And I actually was, I will mention this. I haven't recorded the intro yet because I like to wait until I've had the conversation, but I will mention in the intro that I did fly completely blind into this. Like you were like, I'm going to write a class. And the point is that I can't know what's coming, because if I'd known what was coming, it would have ruined the whole
improv
thing. Right.
Yes. And we're asking other people to do that. But yeah, I think there was some moments where, And the thing is, the more you do improv, the more you are doing the inventing. But
Yeah.
even with the tailor thing, you just came up with this thing of I'm just going to go for it, take the scissors, cut this dress in half. And that's not something that you pre-planned. It just came out of you. And that is good.
Yeah. I'm feeling like, oh my God, did I do the scene right? Which is not the point.
No, but like no matter what, you did the scene right. Because
I think that is
the assignment was to be bad. It was perfect. It was
a great takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a million ways to get more comfortable with dating. And a huge thing is to be playful and to not take it too seriously. And if it is a bad date, just be like, well, that was a bad date. That's also something. It's like obviously I have bad improv shows, that happens. And you just have to be like, yeah, dude, you have to keep on doing it.
It's not always your day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really hope that people can take away that looseness from this episode, because I think we put so much pressure on ourselves going into dates, and and that it either has to be a great date, or that we have to be the best version of ourselves, or that all of these things that we're hoping for from the outcome versus sort of enjoying the process.
And that goes into relationships also.
True.
It's definitely very heightened on a first date, but I find actually for me, sometimes the dating, it was around date 3 that it got harder. Because date 1, I didn't care yet. And then date 1 obviously went well if there's date 2, so I'm still chilling. Right. And then when I start to like someone and get physical with someone, that is when I'm sort of like, oh, I got to keep up them liking me. And that's when I would get insecure sometimes, or feel like I had to behave in a certain way or look a certain way. So keeping this into those moments also of what I am is myself. I have spent so many number of years becoming this person. That's what that person is going to get. I'm too tired to to do a huge act. I really just want to be present with the person. And there's so many more be present, get connected exercises that exist in improv. But it really is about the two of you together creating something so that it's not a show. It's who are you two together, and does it make sense?
And that, I think it being a show can be the most tiring thing. Yeah. Like, we got a few submissions from listeners saying that they're so exhausted. Either they're like, oh, I just had a long day at work and now I have to go on this date with this stranger. And I think these exercises can hopefully get you out of that mode a little bit and into a looser mode where it doesn't feel like as big of a burden.
And it's a what can happen.
Yeah.
And that hopefully can be, I know that there's some people who are deeply introverts, but hopefully that curiosity still exists. So it's just, who is this person? What is the food going to taste like? There is like a Buddhist element to it of, we don't know what's going to happen. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. And I like the point that you made about people being introverts, because I think that somebody could hear the back and forth that we had, and, they know that I'm an extrovert, and like that this high energy is my thing.
Yes.
And so I want to reiterate the point that the idea is not that everybody gets this high energy persona that they then go into dates with, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's one of the exercises that we could have done in UCB. People talk Upright Citizens Brigade. It's a improv school. Yeah. They talk about game. So say your game is, I'm obsessed with salmon. So in every scene, no matter what, we're playing skee ball, we're singing karaoke, we're going hiking, my character is going to always bring up salmon. And then if we're heightening that in the final scene, I'm at my wedding to salmon. And so as an improviser, you're taught as the straight person, unless you're 2 peas in a pod, to say, it seems like you're really obsessed with salmon. Or like, it seems like you're in love with salmon. You say the thing that the audience is hearing so that we can then play the game. And then I have to justify it and say, yes, I'm obsessed with salmon because I'm from Alaska, whatever it is. And I think that kind of listening to someone can happen at a very quiet level. Again, yes, you and I are both absolutely extroverts, but you can have a very quiet conversation where someone is saying something about their job and then something piques your curiosity. So you ask for more information. That can be That can just be an unraveling. And you are really listening. And I think introverts can be incredible listeners. So use that to your advantage. I think sometimes extroverts can be very like, this is my show. So use that to your advantage to keep the conversation going.
Yeah. And I think you can still leverage that like modulation in tone and how that makes things more interesting in a quieter way.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't have to be overpowering. Because to your point, my thing that I work on is not steamrolling a situation.
Yes. Yeah. And also, who knows? It could be two introverts. It could be an extrovert and an introvert. You're just all finding a way to connect. And I think, yeah, humor, dynamism, enthusiasm, playfulness is all, they're all super helpful for having your date be a good experience almost no matter what ends up happening.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal, right? Like we want to enjoy the journey and not be as worried about the destination, even though we are hoping for a certain one.
Well, and this is a life thing too.
True.
Yeah. You're going around and you're just trying.
So true. Well, Miriam, this was very fun. My heart rate is elevated. I think my like whoop is probably going to be like, you were in a high stress.
Yes. Well, I sort of, we had one little mini session. So normally it would be sort of more slowly getting to that place. But you did really well. You're really ready for an improv class.
Oh my God.
That's short form, but you're completely ready. Like 100%.
Sounds scary, but I think it would be fun. So I'm guessing there's some options in New York City. So
there's an absurd number of options. Yeah. Yes.
So I'm gonna check that out. But if you were listening to this and didn't get the chance to do it with us, I encourage you to go back and kind of do the exercises yourself, because I know that experiencing them with you was so much more valuable for me than it would be just listening to it.
Definitely.
And so
I hope that listening does something, but I agree, trying to get engaged in some way. Yeah. I also do a lot of little micro public speaking tips, mostly on LinkedIn. I do them a little bit on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok too, but mostly on LinkedIn. I have all of them on there. So that those are more exercises and more ideas about in your everyday life, how to get a little looser, and things like pre-presentation, pre-pitch, pre-date, pre-anything, ways to loosen up.
Yeah. So speaking of which, where can the listeners find you if they want to hear more about this?
Please find me on LinkedIn. It's funny. I never would have mentioned LinkedIn when I was promoting the pod, but I like LinkedIn. And TikTok at XAppeal, YouTube at XAppeal, Instagram at the XAppeal podcast. The website is xappealpodcast.com, and the podcast is on, everything. Spotify
everywhere.
And Apple and everything. But yes, it's everyone I have dated, and a lot of these issues are discussed of moments of nervousness, transcending them, miscommunications. Yeah, it's a truly wild ride. And then if you want to do a little if you're preparing for an interview or a panel, or you want to do media training, I do all of that stuff, and I make sure it's fun always. I think that's something some public speaking coaches can be a little serious. I think it should be super fun, because it can be challenging. So make it a good time, so everyone's smiling and, dealing with their vulnerabilities.
I love it. Well, thank you again. It was wonderful having you back.
Oh my God. Thank you for being open to the idea. You being open to this idea is very improv. It's very yes and. You're like, oh, great. That actually makes perfect sense. So yes, I am very, very appreciative.
Yeah, anytime.
Cool.
And I'll see you on the Patreon for our bonus app.
Amazing.
And everyone else, we will talk next week. Bye.